quick oatmeal. So not only do I work on growing a bunch of food outside, I try really hard to cook stuff from scratch. And I've got a multitude of reasons why, like packaging, cost. Sometimes things might cost a little bit more, but what you're getting is a way better product than if you bought, say, packets of instant oatmeal. I mean, nothing wrong with packets of instant oatmeal, but we just don't choose to eat that here in this house. What I do is I buy my oats by a 25-pound bag, and I keep them in a food grade bucket with a gamma lid. And I highly recommend gamma lids because getting those little other lids without the screw tops are a pain in the butt to get off every time you need to do something. And I thought, how many people don't cook oatmeal? I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people who cook oatmeal. This is just the way that I do it, and it's pretty like easy peasy lemon squeezy. So here in my little pan, I took a banana that was frozen, and I just kind of used a knife, ran it under hot water for just a few seconds, took a knife, scraped the peel part way down, slit the banana this way and then this way, and then just did wee little wedges, you know, wee little wedges. And then there's also peaches in here, so I have some home canned peaches. And I use probably like a third of my quart of peaches in there. And there's maybe a quart of water. If I had to guess, I'd say teaspoon and a half of cinnamon. 15 cranks of salt. So that's maybe a half a teaspoon of salt. Less than half a teaspoon of salt, actually. And then I'm going to bring this water here to, oh, and a pat of butter. I always stick in a pat of butter. Just that little extra fat, I think, helps keep the, like maybe a tablespoon of butter. And the reason I do that is because I feel like that little bit of fat helps make it a little bit more substantial. And then I'm probably going to add some nuts, be it either pumpkin seeds or maybe some walnuts, some rough chops of walnuts. And so I'm going to let this water here come to a boil. And then this is another thing, I don't measure my oats. I kind of go by a look. And I literally will add the oats, and I'll video this maybe. Maybe we'll just take a pause. A couple minutes later, and now my little concoction here is boiling. I ended up adding some pumpkin seeds and a few raisins because, well, who doesn't love that? I use a third cup measuring cup. And really the only reason why is because it fits real nice into the neck of my jar. And this is very loosely measured. I'm going to start with 5 scoops. So what is that? 1 2/3 cup-ish. Probably closer to 2 cup-ish because some of these are heaped. And then I'm going to stir. And there is a certain consistency I go for. And what's great about how I make this, I don't sit here and watch it and babysit it. I bring the concoction up to a boil. Yeah, I made way more than I thought I did. I bring the concoction up to a boil. Here, let me get a couple more in here and then we'll stir this again. Show the consistency I go for. So this is about the consistency I go for. And then I'm gonna sprinkle a few more in there. And honestly, like this is one of those things that you play with. And the reason you play with it is because maybe you like your oatmeal a little runnier than we do, or maybe you want it to be like a solid mass, whatever. Dealer's choice. This is one of those things that you get to play with. You get to start with, and you get to play with, and you get to make it your own. Now, this is now back up to kind of a boil. I throw the lid on it, and I turn it off. That's it. So literally, like what's fantastic is the most time intensive part of that is getting that put together. And then you literally just sit there and you get it up to a boil. So maybe you're fighting with the kids like I sometimes do. Get out of the shower. Hurry up. Well, but now this is done and this gets to sit here and like it's boiling now, but it'll stop boiling and it'll sit here and I'll leave it sit here for at least 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And that now was enough time for me to go get dressed. So literally breakfast got thrown into the pot. I have time for me to go get dressed. And when I get done, both my son and I have an oatmeal breakfast. Pretty easy peasy. So this is, wouldn't say time saver. Maybe it's a time saver because I'm going to have leftovers. And so he'll have breakfast tomorrow. It's definitely more nutritious. There's probably a lot here for what you'd spend on maybe a box. A lot more here. I don't know. It's just, here you go. It's a whole food breakfast. It's a whole food oatmeal breakfast that didn't really take that much labor or time to put together. and we're gonna have breakfast for a couple days. So maybe you should try that. I would say go farm in your yard, but this isn't even farming your yard. This is more or less just get out there and go play in your kitchen.